A Feeling of Fullness is the name of a book by a cancer survivor, a woman who was diagnosed with stage 2A breast cancer at the age of 37. But the memoir does far more than tell the story of illness and recovery, or at least it takes an unusual and inspiring approach to that story. And here to tell us about it is the author and artist, Wilhelmina Grant. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for being here, Wilhelmina. We talk a lot about art on BK Live as a coping mechanism. When did you decide to use art in your battle against cancer?
Well, it happened quite accidentally, coincidentally. We know there are no coincidences in life, but I had been released from a job and I had nothing else to do, so I ventured into art making and never looked back.
Nice. Please tell us the meaning behind the title of the book.
A Feeling of Fullness came about because of all the different things that I'm doing now after cancer, after going through different experiences, losing large jobs, losing large relationships, losing important family members, having no children, having no spouse. But my life is still very full because of the art and because of all the activism that I do and all the people that I am in contact with and what I've made of my life. So that's principally where the idea for A Feeling of Fullness came from, because my life is very full.
So if you go into any bookstore now, or if people still go to bookstores, if you were like online and you saw stories about surviving cancer, there's a lot of self-help books and things that do guided meditations or these big, thick tomes. Your book takes a decidedly different approach to that.
Absolutely. It's my story, and it has a spiritual aspect to it, and it talks about coincidences a lot, of how I was diagnosed just by accident, but not accidentally, and the spiritual aspect of everything that I've done in my life, how things have come together, and I'm only seeing it now, how all the pieces of the puzzle have fit. And when I think back on it, it says, I need to tell somebody about this, and I need to encourage other people and inspire other people and say, listen to that little voice inside.
And how does that physically manifest itself in the work that you do? Because the art, it's all there. Well, I work with found objects. That's another thing that happened when I started doing art. I had no budget, had no job, so I made art out of things I found in the street or things that were discarded by others at thrift stores and such, and things that were given to me. So that's another different aspect of A Feeling of Fullness. Even though I had no art supplies, I was still full of opportunities and things that I could do.
How has your art evolved since you first began to create it?
Well, it started just with assemblages, meaning painting with objects, because I'm not a drawing artist, or I'm not trained. I'm called an outsider artist by some because I don't have any formal arts training. I didn't go to art school, but things just come out of my imagination, or things just sort of appear sometimes, and I realize it afterwards. I say, oh, that looks like this or that. So it has changed, because now every year, and I've been doing this 8 years now, but each year I add on a different medium. So last year I started doing encaustic with wax, and I started doing more photography and including that in my work, and I started just adding on different things, doing fiber arts and other things, because it's, as an artist, you do everything. And so now I've added writing to my art, because that's also one of the arts.
So we're going to share some of your work right now and ask you to walk us through this piece.
That one is one of my series of hot comb pieces. That one is called Dyed, Fried, and Laid to the Side.
She went blonde.
And it has a hot comb as the teeth. And I did a series of hot comb pieces because I was trying to drive home the point that if a woman can go to a beauty parlor and sit there for 6 or 7 hours on a Saturday,
get the smush,
waiting to be tortured, for lack of a better phrase, then they can go to the clinic once a year and get a mammogram. You know, because part of
it'll be uncomfortable
just for a few
second.
seconds, just for a few seconds. And that's another one of my favorites of the hot comb pieces. Hot comb in the kitchen. and that has a dual meaning. You know, the kitchen, you know, the back of the head, the kitchen, that's where the hot comb is positioned there. But also, historically, we took care of our grooming in the kitchen. Exactly.
Very cool.
And also, I think that it sort of speaks directly to the African American woman, and that's who my book is directed at because of the disparities in the survival rates from breast cancer. That's the whole reason why I do what I do with the arts and with my advocacy work.
Where do you come about with your inspiration and ideas for mixed media?
Well, sometimes it comes to me in my sleep. Sometimes it comes during the process of my art. I have a very messy studio with all these different objects in different bins and things, and when I'm looking to create something, I go rifling through the bins, and then I toss something to the side, and when I go looking for it, it's right next to something that it works with. So just the juxtaposition accidentally it makes it work out very well.
So often when we have one tragic event, and wherever you are in your life, it could be losing that big job or a big relationship or a family member, but cancer can certainly be one of those defining things. I wondered if cancer was your before and after moment for your life as you see it now.
Absolutely. I think because of the breast cancer, I've had opportunities that I would not have ordinarily had. I've been places I would not have ordinarily gone to, and met people that would not have come into my life if it were not for that experience. So I turn it around. It's a gift, and I have a piece called "Making Lemonade Out of Lemons." I did it long before Beyonce. Okay. And it really has set the direction for how my life is going, and I find that I have a purpose, and that's something I need to experience while I'm here, just to bring other people along and use my experience as an example.
Yeah, and what do you hope people get out of a feeling of fullness, other than, you know, sharing your experiences and kind of that sort of inspiration? How do you hope people react to the book?
I hope people are inspired. I hope people are inspired to do art. I hope people are inspired to get to the doctor and get diagnosed early. I think a lot of the reason that women don't survive is because of fear and because of the unknown and because of the stigma. So I use myself as an example. There's really nothing to fear. If you have to go through something, go through it now rather than later. Excuse me. So that if you're detected earlier, it's handled. And I'm 22 years and counting. Yeah, so that I'd like for people to realize and understand, that because it was detected early enough, I'm able to survive.
Yeah, and think of all the advances we've made in those interceding years. There's no excuse to not get in early so we can attack it.
It's so much better now. And I think also women are afraid to lose their hair. They don't want to go through the process of the chemotherapy. And all of that, it's just temporary. Yeah. It's temporary. So and I lost my hair, but I looked gorgeous.
Still there. Yes. So where can we see more of the work? Because in addition to letting us know where we can buy the book, you are a busy woman. You're all over the place.
I stay busy. Well, I have a website, and I normally post my upcoming exhibitions there. Can I say my website?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, it's www.wilhelminagrant.com. Just my name, and it's spelled WILHELMINA Grant. So remember, Wilhelmina like the queen, Grant like the money.com.
That's on the screen as we're speaking. And where can we get this book?
The book is available also through my website. I have a books tab that one can press that tab, and it'll take you directly to the publisher, which is Ex Libris. It's also online at Barnes & Noble and all the online bookstores. And whenever I have an exhibition, I bring some copies, live copies with me. I have some here today. Yes. Hopefully some of the bookstores will pick it up and have it there on the shelves as well.
It's truly an inspirational story. Thank you for sharing it through your art and through your book, A Feeling of Fullness. You can get it anywhere online or in bookstores.
WilhelminaGrant.com. Cut out the middleman. Get it from the woman
there
herself. She might even sign it for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wilhelmina Grant, thank you very much for being here. It's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.